Anna Boleyn. She died on the 19th of May, 1536, beheaded in the Tower of London by order of her own husband, King Henry VIII. But in 1864, more than 3 centuries later, a soldier gave a testimony he could never forget. It was night and he was making his rounds alone. Fog covered the ground like a shroud and the air was so cold it ached in his bones. He said that suddenly the silence grew heavy. There was no wind anymore, no footsteps, nothing. And then he saw her. A woman appeared in the darkness. She wore a long white gown trailing across the stones. The soldier swore she walked slowly, cradling something in her arms. When he looked closer, he saw it was her own head. Her black hair spilled over her fingers. Her eyes were closed, and yet he felt that she saw him. The soldier raised his bayonet, tried to strike that thing that moved toward him, but there was nothing to pierce. She vanished before his eyes like smoke, and in her place only the cold remained. A cold, he said, never left him. They say he left the tower that very night. He never spoke of what he saw again, but even now others swear they have seen the same figure, a headless woman dressed in white walking the stone corridors, always silent, always searching for something she lost forever. Before she became a ghost, before she was just a shadow wandering the halls, Anne Boleyn was a woman. And the beginning of her story did not seem destined for horror. Born around 1501, Anne was sent at a young age to the French court, where she learned manners, music, and dance. When she returned to England, she carried a rare confidence and a light that drew everyone's attention. But one gaze fixed on her above all others, that of King Henry VIII. He was already married to Catherine of Aragon, had a daughter, Mary. But when Anne appeared at court, nothing else mattered. He wanted her, by any means, and Anne refused. Yes, she refused him. She did not want to be a mistress, not just another woman. She wanted to be queen. And the king, blinded by desire and fascination, accepted the challenge. Thus began a scandal that shook all Christendom. Henry broke with Rome, defied the Pope, ended his marriage. In 1533, Anne finally became Queen of England, and it seemed nothing could stop her. But the crown was heavy. The people hated her. They called her a usurper, a witch. The king, who had once burned with passion, began to withdraw, especially because he and Anne had no son. She gave him a daughter, Elizabeth. But for Henry, and for the entire kingdom, that was not enough. Then came the accusations: adultery, incest, conspiracy against the king. Witnesses were forged, friends tortured into confessing. In just a few days, Anne was arrested, tried, and condemned. On May 19, 1536, Anne climbed the scaffold. She wore gray and red with a black cloak. She walked firmly, even knowing what awaited her. She knelt, prayed softly, and by order of the king who once swore to love her, her head was cut with a single blow of the sword. They say the executioner brought a mirror so the king could see if the beheading was clean, and they say the stone where her head fell was stained forever. But that was only the beginning, for after that day the Tower of London was never the same. On the coldest nights, when the mist rises and the stars hide, some swear they hear soft footsteps in the halls, the sound of lace dragging on stone, an ancient perfume in the air, and a woman dressed in white, silently carrying her own head, still searching for justice. And if one day you pass by there and suddenly feel the air grow cold, don't look back, for the queen still walks, and she always finds those who watch her. Anne Boleyn's death did not erase her presence in the tower. Centuries have passed, but the shadows still keep her footsteps. Over the years, soldiers and guards have reported strange sightings. A female figure dressed in white, her head gone, wandering through the silent corridors. They say that on nights when the fog is thick, the sound of lace dragging across the floor echoes through the chambers. A sweet, ancient scent of dead flowers lingers in the air, chilling even the bravest. Visitors, even tourists, have claimed to feel an unexplainable presence. Some swear they've seen her eyes, deep, sorrowful, and furious, staring at them from behind the walls. There are also stories of guards, during their rounds, hearing faint whispers and almost inaudible, words no one can quite understand, but carrying an ancient pain and injustice unresolved. Anne Boleyn, the beheaded queen, is not just a story of the past. She is a warning, a reminder that power can be as cruel as a sharpened blade. If you ever visit the Tower of London, look closely at the stones, at the corridors, at the silence. Perhaps you'll find a gaze that has never stopped searching for justice.